I just want to back up what Marcus was saying because I did hear that as well because at one point, and I remember laughing really hard hearing it, especially the first time where Hank was saying she's gonna call out my name, right? And by the like to as the conversation progressed, she started calling him Mr. Hank, Mr. Hank. Like at the Marcus was
Damn.
like on on point with that comment because I think some women who don't either refuse to acknowledge that this man is not interested in you, especially if you're pretty. If you are a pretty woman and a man says you're not my type, it's so abrasive. I think we talked about this before. Women don't handle rejection really well. She was like, I'm going to find an end to make you like me, even if it's like a hate like, that toxic like, I'm going to find a way in. And even though she was disrespectful in the way that she was engaging him, it was so interesting to watch how respectfully she was addressing him by the end of it. Like there's something, and I get it. I've only had one like shared panel with Hank, and like, he has a little bit of an abrasive personality, but it is still very strong and very masculine, right? Like it doesn't matter how out of control of a woman you are, his presence still has like an appeal, right? Like if we're honest, if we're going to be really transparent, that level of presence still has an appeal, right? And so seeing her toxicity meet her attraction was an interesting observation.
Mm. I have a question, y'all. But well, I'm mistaken. Ali, did you want to go?
Yeah, go ahead, Shan.
I have a question though. Do you think that this is for the guys? Do you think that it was the way she was acting more, or do you think people were more upset with the way she was acting, or or her preference? Meaning, if she was siding with you on whatever it is that you think, let's just say she was pro coffee date, and it was the other way around, and then let's just say she got in an argument. Do you think that it was the preference that made it the worst, or just the way she was acting? She handled it.
I believe,
or a combination.
I think it was.
It's the fact that she had the audacity to do that, and the women let her be disrespectful. Hold on, y'all. Hold on.
All right,
y'all are romanticizing this so much, and this is the problem with our society. Like this is different. This is the nuance.
Don't bring the hood, Ali. You missed the hood.
See what I'm saying? See, that's why I don't come.
Absolutely.
You cannot tell the truth. How is this the hood? I'll see. Hey, y'all, listen. If I can't speak, I don't want.
I'm joking, Ali. Go ahead.
Look, somebody just muted my mic. Like y'all don't let me speak. It says the host has muted your mic.
I did that. I'm just showing them what's supposed to be done with somebody talking shit. I'm showing y'all what needs to be done with somebody talking shit. Please continue.
No, to me, it's not comical. Like this is the stuff that's happening in the household. This is stuff that's happening in public. This is stuff that's happening in these spaces. A woman knows she can go from panel to panel to disrespect the man. She knows that the sense of when you know you have power, you lose a sense of morality. And what she did was stay on code. She thought the men were going to come defend her. She thought the women were going to come and defend her. And she prolonged it because typically if women apply that much pressure, someone is eventually going to jump in. A man would jump in and go at the man, even if the man wasn't wrong. And when the man jump in, then the women jump in. The point that happened this time is she was so wrong that the woman like, look, I'm not going to jump in this one because she misfired. And the fact that we're not standing up for Hink, and Hink is one of the guys that represent what a good man is, and a woman who support women is just a shame to me. Grandma, aunties, the women back then in those generations would have addressed her so fast she wouldn't even know what hit her. Everybody stayed on code so they could still have the power to disrespect the man when they feel like it. And we're sitting here romanticizing it, but this is what happened to brothers countlessly. If a man did that, a man would have checked them, and a woman would have checked them as well too. But we're gonna allow disrespect to men when we feel like it, and women know it, and women stay on code. And no disrespect to the brothers. The brothers know exactly what was happening at that time. Hink should have been. If Hink is not a Pookie, then he should have been the first one for all the women to collectively address her. For him not even get out of his character. But he didn't even get out of his character. He was being a man. He ain't gonna put his hands on her. He said what he said, and then people still continue to let it happen, and it was prolonged. And we allowed a brother to be disrespected because we know what a woman can do and what she has the power to do. That's what really happened.
Again, I think I interjected as many times as I'm going to possibly do it. Please go back and rewind that tape and just look specifically at what I do. All right, but before I move on, I just want to say I want to give a shout out to the what's it called? What's Jay Prince's show? What's that? The Black House.
Jay Prince,
the Black House, for having me on there, being able to explain myself. The Black House. I appreciate Jay Prince for the opportunity. I just wanted to give him a shout out real fast. Anybody else want to?
So to answer your question, Shan, no, we can argue. We can argue the preference. We can have a conversation about the preference. It was the way she handled herself, with the interaction between her and Hink, then her and Jr., then her and Anton. She went from being overly aggressive with Hink to being looking for the sympathy and why aren't you guys getting on to Hink, to JR and Anton, and they weren't going for it. We can argue the preference. We can have a civil discussion about what you think about a coffee date. But what we're not gonna do and be okay with is have you getting completely out of pocket and trying to what's the word, emasculate a man. And Hink's not going to allow it to happen to him either. So it was her response to what was going on that made people really upset.
I just admire the guys who came in to step in. Anton, JR came with that forceful voice, and then Anton came to save the day. There's a guy coming in protection. So I'm appreciative of that. When you see something going on and it can't be handled, step in. It's okay. It worked very well.
Well, yeah, as long as you're acknowledging what men are good for, then we're square. But I think the question itself is, you see us get into tons of conversations like that. It's not the lady, because we already covered this when we said what we thought Hink did wrong and why we didn't jump on him. There were plenty of times where Hink was like, all right, stop taking jabs back at her. Yeah, he did that a few times, but like I said, when redirected by the people he respect, he fell back. That's what that woman didn't do. And this entire conversation, we didn't even talk about no damn coffee. The conversation went off of coffee quick. I forgot that was what even it started this whole thing, right? It's the fact that as men, we saw Hink fall back every time he was asked to. And this lady on her first time on the show, that's what JR said at the restaurant. He's like, we got a problem, bro. This chick knew and caused a trouble. I was like, God, her first time on the show. She's doing all of this, monopolizing time, sucking up all the air in the room, being disrespectful to, because this is when I knew she flew off the handle. When she tried to turn on Curves, when Curves trying to help her, I was like, she can't be helped. Yep.
But did y'all?
I was like, oh my God.
But she switched code right at the very end before it was any intervention. She started being respectful to him. I don't know if y'all caught it near the end of the video. When she went that far, like the kids do this. When I was in mental health, the kids would disrespect the teachers. They'll disrespect the mental health workers, and they'll make sure they get all the way to the principal before they get addressed. She had to go to the main source of power to be addressed, and she had to make sure she went to every line of power that she can get to until she went, dang, I ain't getting away with this. Mr. Hink, you know what? Maybe I was acting a certain way, and then when Anton addressed it the way she didn't like, she continued to go. It's crazy, but it took that long. A man wouldn't have got that far, because we all would have collectively addressed him disrespecting a woman. Women get that far every single day, to the point where someone can get their life taken, where someone may get hands put on them, where something detrimental can happen to anybody because of the disrespect of some of our women. Not all of our women, but we know a lot of violence and certain issues happen because of the behaviors of some of our women.